My name is Sam Houston. I'm running for Texas Attorney General. I have been practicing law in Houston for about 26 years, going on 27 now. I have probably obtained in the last 26 to 27 years most of the things that lawyers want to do as far as board certification, my credentials, which you can look at on the website. And I want to take that 26 years plus what I learned growing up in a small West Texas town about respect for all people to the Attorney General's office. I want to make that office an office of an attorney who's there for all Texas, and I don't want to make it so politicized, which is where I think the office has been for the last 10 years, and certainly where I think Senator Paxton's going to take us if he's elected. There's too much emphasis on partisan politics. There's been too many lawsuits having to do with, I think, more political issues and kind of we're going to sue the federal government, and it just happens to be that most of these lawsuits have come during the latest administration. And this kind of rhetoric, which again is even higher with Senator Paxton's office, is that no matter what the federal government does, we're going to be at war and we're going to take the fight to them. I think that's a bad policy. You may disagree with the federal government, but we are the federal government. We are part of the United States of America. It makes no sense to always be suing ourselves. I think we need to take that into more of a bipartisan way to solve problems as opposed to sending lawsuits. I think that there's been too much reliance on the Attorney General's office to continue to fund education. To continue to litigate these school education funding problems, and that issue needs to be out of the courts and back in the legislature so we can fix the problem. The AG's office is, again, it's one of the largest law offices in the state of Texas. I think it needs to be an office that offers, you don't represent individuals, but it needs to be the office for all Texans. And considerations need to be given to what's best for all Texans. I'd like to see the Consumer Protection Division, there's going to be more emphasis on that, more emphasis on protecting individual problems versus an attitude that, again, we're going to do the type of work that gets big public policy, gets big headlines. I think we're going to do the kind of work that benefits one party. That needs to stop. It needs to be more open. It needs to be used more as a law office and more detail-oriented as opposed to what's happening. Well, being a Democrat running statewide is always a challenge in Texas. I've done it before. But the challenge is there's a lot of places to get. The individual that talked about voter education. To me, if we educate our voters and they get out, and when I say our voters, I mean voters, period, in Texas. And they talk about our voters, or there's not any our voters. If we educate the voters, and the voters vote, then Democrats win because our ideas are better. So my challenge is figuring out how to educate the voters and get around and see all the voters, because it is a great, great big state.